Hey guys, it's Rose. I have my music playing very quietly in the background. Hope you guys don't mind. My radio's on. I'm in between classes right now, so I'm just enjoying the sunshine, warm air, and music playing. We are on week 4. Past couple of weeks, we've been into some deep subjects, got a little heavy. I broke out crying. So I wanted to do something a little different, a little bit more upbeat. So this week I'm going to be sharing some stories of fun times with friends and family. Um, just to show you guys, I'm just a normal girl, same life as all you guys, you know, not all just sad talk. um, I'm smiling a lot. This is just really exciting for me. I really love sharing these stories. I talk with my best friend Marie about them all the time as we reminisce, and it just cracks us up every single time when we talk about these. Just to give you guys a little hint about the stories that I'm going to tell, I have a list here because I was writing down, like, what do I want to talk about? Um, Ditch fighting. That's a very interesting story. Nightly walks. The crazy gas station by my house. Uh, Barbecue nights. Pool dunking. Yard work, bunch of funny stories. You wouldn't think so, but there is. Community service, Dairy Queen, and camping. Like, there is so many stories. I mean, I have 22 years worth of stories. Um, it's kind of hard to choose which ones I want to talk about and which ones really stick out the most. Um, yeah, a lot of these stories involve one or both of my sisters, a couple family friends that I don't really talk to anymore, but these memories are still happy memories, even if I don't talk to them anymore, even if we've gone our separate ways. And then a lot of them include Marie and her family. So it's I'm gonna start giggling. At least it's not crying. Okay, so I lived in the same neighborhood my whole life. I've moved only once, and the house is literally like 2 blocks away from each other. So we just moved to a bigger house. Um, so a lot of the scenery was the same. A lot of the places were the same. There was by my old house, there was this little convenience store right on the corner next to City Hall, and its name was Guy's, but everyone called it Gooey's because it was spelled Gui. So it was pronounced Guy's, but everyone said Gooey's. And this little convenience store had like nothing in it except for cigarettes, some drinks, and a lot of candy. And it was kind of a seedy kind of shop because some bad stuff happened around it. But me and my sisters would walk there every day during the summer and get a drink or some candy. I'm pretty sure the shopkeep knew us, even if not by name, just by us going. Then we moved, and even though the house was only 2 blocks away, we ended up not going to Gooey's as much because it was a little further away. We were closer to a gas station. Um, and something just to help you, where we lived, it was kind of right off of a freeway entrance and exit, so there was a lot of traffic. So there was 2 gas stations, a Dairy Queen, a Subway, um, a Bigfoot coffee stand, a Jack in the Box, and a church for whatever reason. So we ended up going to the just the one gas station. It's AM PM now. It used to be something with an A, not AM PM, but something else. But then it went away and it became AM PM. This one family owns it, and the son knows me. And sometimes they hire like seasonal workers or whatever. And one of the my town's on crack, okay? Like, we're not a small town, but we're not like the biggest. We're not like Seattle big. So everyone kind of knows each other. Well, me and my little sister, we went to the gas station at I think like 11 o'clock at night. My town had a curfew, but no one fucking followed it. Like, we didn't care. Um, So me and my sister, we went to the gas station at 11 o'clock to get some energy drinks because we were bored. It was summer. Like, what else are we going to do? I'm expecting to see the normal cashier, and instead there's this big white guy, and he looks just out of his mind on something. So we're like, ugh, druggy, obviously. This there's an older girl who also seems to be on drugs in the store. She buys something, she leaves out. The guy is laughing even after she's gone, like for no reason. So me and my sister walk up and we're like, we just want this. And like looking at us, you wouldn't think me and my little sister are sisters. Like we don't really look alike, but we look enough alike for you to know that there's some similarities there. And this was when we were younger. We were like teenagers, and she's younger than me by a couple of years. So it was very obvious that she's a little kid. And this guy looks at us and he's like, "Are you lesbian lovers? I want to see some action." And I'm like, dude, you did not say that to two teenage girls at 11 o'clock at night. That's just creepy. We ran out of the store so damn fast. Looking back, we can laugh on it, but at that moment, we were scared out of our minds, like, oh my God! Yeah, our parents trusted us when we were kids. Like, my parents were kind of like, nowadays, it's kind of weird because nowadays they're very tight on the reins, but before they used to, just let us run around like normal kids. They wanted us to experience the childhood they had where, they didn't have to worry about coming home at night because someone might kidnap you. So we didn't have a lot of restrictions. We could go and do whatever as long as we let them know where we were going, and we could spend however long we wanted outside. I'm talking really, really fast, and I get that way. When I get excited or emotional, I start talking really fast. So I'm sorry. I'll try to like notice when I'm talking fast and stop myself. But yeah, during many summers, and not so much now that me and my sisters are all kind of grown up and going off to college and stuff, but when we were kids and up until our teenage years, our family used to host barbecue nights every weekend during the summer where family, friends, and family would come over and we'd barbecue out on the back porch. Parents would get drunk. Us kids would be out in the front yard blasting music through stereos, walking around town, going to the school to play on the park, just having a really fun night. And that's where a lot of our stories come from, because we'd walk. It was me, my older sister, my little sister, a family friend of two. One girl was my age, another was my little sister's age, and then Marie and her brother, who were my age, and he was kind of in the middle between me and my little sister. And we'd end up walking around. We'd go to Bigfoot in the middle of the night. Cars would honk at us. We'd make weird faces at them. We'd get Monsters, which I don't drink anymore because they make me a little crazy. One such night during the summer, we walked over to the gas station. It was me, Marie, her brother, and my little sister. It was just us. And as we're walking back, it's now like 1 a.m. in the morning. We're up late. No one cared. Our parents were back home drunk. And as we're walking back, we passed by this house in the neighborhood, and this house is known as kind of like the crack house. Like there's always someone new in it every couple months. Like they just cycle through. House is kind of run down. No one really keeps it, and it's right on the corner next to this creek bed. And as we're walking back, we start hearing screams and shouting and the sounds of fight. So we're like, with the mortality of 12-year-olds, we're like, let's go look at it. So we go towards the sounds of the fight. And what do we see but a bunch of drunk, I think they were like mid-20-year-old guys, cheering on these two guys that were fighting in the middle of the ditch, mud flinging everywhere. They're fighting. The guys around are screaming, cheering. And we just stood there just for a minute, just like, And this only happened like a couple years ago. That was hilarious. I think I was like, I was still in high school, so over 5 years ago, but I think I was like 18 or 17 or something with Marie. Oh, it was hilarious. The things we would encounter in the middle of the night. And like my neighborhood had like 3 giant patches of couple acres of just like wild grass and blackberries and just weeds and stuff. And so that at times you'd be walking around, you'd see a coyote, you'd see raccoons, you'd see skunks, you'd see possums. There was this one raccoon that I saw. He was a big boy, hefty boy. I had a small dog, and I was like, calling my parents. I'm like, hey, I just left the house. There's a giant raccoon heading to our backyard. Make sure the dog is inside. But it's just, oh. Yeah, the night walks, I think the barbecue nights and the nightly walks were probably the best parts of my childhood. I have a lot of fond memories of that. You know, you end up talking when you're walking, and you just the things you end up talking about, and it really cements your friendships and your siblings and stuff. So it was really fun. We'd plan for it. Like we'd be like, "Hey, are we having a barbecue tonight? Okay, I'm gonna text her and tell her we're gonna go out walking tonight." Like, we planned for it. Yeah. We stopped having them lately because we're like I said, all of us kids, we're getting older. My parents don't really keep in contact with their friends anymore. Uh, there's a lot of grown-up drama now, and I'm just like, oh, I want to go back to being 12 with no worries and just have fun. I mentioned pool dunking. So my family's always had a pool, like one of those inflatable setup ones. It started out, there was just the 5 feet tall one, and then we got a 10 feet tall one. You know, and it was always tradition during the summer. Every time we had a barbecue, someone would end up getting dunked. Like you didn't know who it was gonna be. Everyone's dressed. You have your phone, your keys, your wallet in your pockets, and all of a sudden, and it was the dads that would do this. The dads would gang up, and there's like 4 to 5 dads at a given point. The dads would gang up, choose a kid. They'd sneak up behind you when you weren't aware, grab you by your legs and arms, and toss you into the pool. It's sort of become like an initiation now at this point, because just last year my little sister's boyfriend got tossed in. We had to give him change of clothes, and we threw his clothes in the dryer. We're not heartless, but his wallet was soaked, his shoes. It was just, it's all in good fun. As kids, we've all, drives me mad. This one cousin of mine has never once been dunked. The closest we got was the butt of his pants wet, because he struggles so much that we can't keep a hold of him long enough to get him up to the point where we can toss him in. But it's always fun. We have a fire in our backyard. Our house was always like the meetup place. Like I don't know why, but our house was always the barbecue house. Everyone would congregate there. Music playing. We had a fire pit, the pool, little kids running around. It was a lot of fun. I don't want to give away all the stories right now, but I'm just like on a roll, and I just want to. I have so many fond memories, of being a teenager and summer nights, especially before I had to start working. But like the fun doesn't stop once you start working. You just find time and find different ways to have fun. Like instead of walking to the gas station to get leered at by old men on crack, you end up at your best friend's house drinking wine and watching comedy shows. Like it just changes. So, yeah. I'll tell you guys more on Wednesday. Until then, I will talk to you guys later.